Tell us about No Mercy.
Well, it's a story of a group of freshmen in college. They're going to be freshmen in the fall, and they go to South America to do a voluntourism trip, build schools in a remote mountain village just before they start their college experience. And the first thing that happens is they get involved in a terrible accident. And that is not the worst thing that happens to them. It's not even the worst thing that happens in the first 24 hours. So if you like texting emoji and sudden death, this is the book for you. I always describe it as a John Hughes script directed by Sam Peckinpah. So yes, it's there's a lot of teen drama. There's a lot of danger. And there is a great deal of suspense.
Can you tell us, is this an ongoing series, and who the rest of the creative team is on the book?
It's a maxi series. We've just finished our first arc, and the trade's in stores now from Image Comics for a mere $9.99. And issue 5 drops on December 9th. It's a big pink cover, you won't miss it. I co-create the book with the artist Carla Speed McNeil and the colorist Jen Manley Lee.
Tell me about the story with Jerry Ordway.
Well, we're doing a series together in Dark Horse Presents called Semi-Automagic, which is, I always like to say it's sort of like old school Hellblazer, except starring a woman and set in the U.S. and without the comfortable monsters of myth and folklore. So actually nothing like Hellblazer at all, but that similar sort of feel of dirty magic and the lead character who's like just barely in control of the situation and doesn't really understand how this magic is working. But the monsters are all very Lovecraftian and more J-horror and technology based than they are like, Bass doesn't show up, like Lucifer is never going to walk in, because I think we're all done with that. That's covered by Vertigo. And working with Jerry has been a delight. That man can draw anything. I mean, he draws the most amazing Superman and Lois Lane. He can draw like people with tentacles coming out of their eye sockets. Also, just so much skill. He's a delightful human being. So it's the series, which we're going to do a trade paperback of over the summer, and actually kickstart some extra stories by Jerry and some friends into the trade. It's been a real highlight of my past couple of years of collaborative working. I'm very blessed to work with the artists I do, because they're some of the finest human beings and finest creators on the planet, and Jerry is right up there with them.
Why do you call yourself Writer of Wrongs?
Because it's an awesome pun. And I just thought it up one day and thought, well, I need some sort of tagline to talk about what I do. And, I write a lot of work that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a woman writing it. I've written exploitation horror. I do spy thrillers that are very, very violent and very full of sex. I mean, Mike Richardson won't read my books at Dark Horse because there's too much sex in them. It gives him uncomfortable feelings in his fundament. So I feel like I actually lay claim to that title. If there's a book out there that's just full of wrong, it's probably written by me. Archie versus Predator, for example.
Can you tell us about your Archie versus Predator?
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Everyone says, oh, how did you think this up? And I'll tell you a secret. I'm terrible at pitching work for hire. They have to come to me. I never pitch them because I'm too busy doing my creator-owned stuff. But my editor at Dark Horse, who edited my Grindhouse series, which is, exploitation horror with a lot of humor in it, he phoned me up and he's like, Alex, we're doing this weird little thing, Archie Predator. Would you be interested in writing it? And so that was my audition for it. I didn't have to pitch or anything. I just got on the phone with Dark Horse and Archie and like Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa and Brendan, and I just spitballed the entire series over the phone one summer day. And then it was announced at New York Comic Con, and everyone lost their mind, and we suddenly realized that this was going to be a thing, like this wasn't just us making some funny little book. And Roberto was so supportive. Even Fox with the Predator license was incredibly supportive, and they just let me do pretty much anything I wanted within reason. They pulled me back a few times, but if I wasn't pushing the boundary, I wasn't doing my job. So a couple of times they're like, "No, you can't make jokes about child predation in an Archie book." And I'm like, "Okay, fair enough." But we're really unique for an Archie crossover in that in all the previous Archie crossovers, nobody has died. Even in Archie Punisher, the only thing that died was Frank Castle's self-esteem.
That's a big victim, though.
It's huge. But it's died so often. Poor Frank. We have a soft spot for Frank. We actually got an Archie Punisher like a little Easter egg cameo in Archie Predator. So I challenge you to find it, dear reader. And so there's so much death in Archie Predator because we took it very seriously. I love the Archie characters. I can recite most of Predator and a little bit of Predator 2, just on call. So we wanted to make it both a book that was respectful and fun for the Archie fans, and that it was a really good Archie story with a real understanding of the characters and the dynamics and their foibles. I mean, Archie spends the first issue with heart eyes for like legit a third of the issue. He trips over things. Reggie's a jerk. Jughead has put downs. You know, Betty and Veronica squabble. Like, it's everything you want an Archie book to be, but kind of turned up to 11, and then with sudden gory death.